Hey, greetings everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Plan B Success. We have Aron Ezra from Las Vegas today, and he is the chairman and CEO of Plan A Technologies. So Plan A is on Plan B today. So we're going to learn about Aron, his story, the pivots he has had to make in his life, and how he has been doing as a businessman. So welcome, Aron.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. So tell us a little bit about yourself to begin with.
Sure. Yeah. So I kind of had a lot of different careers when I was a young man. I got out of college and wasn't entirely sure of what I wanted to do at the various job and career fairs that they had over there. There were a whole lot of consulting roles and banking roles and all sorts of other things like that. And so I really spent my 20s in many, many different jobs, trying out a lot of different things. And at the time, it felt very much like I really had no idea what I was going to do and which direction I should go in. But ultimately, had a chance to do work in crisis communications and crisis consulting. I did a lot of work in healthcare. I did a lot of work in the advertising world. I actually worked as a television writer for a while and was doing all sorts of different kind of businessy types of things. But ultimately, I really didn't enjoy those jobs very much. And I kept kind of going into a new role and having high hopes. I remember at one point I had a job for a few months as a recruiter, and I was like, oh, this is going to be different. This is going to be great. And I didn't like that one either. And my wife was teasing me that these were my Goldilocks years, and I kept trying different things and nothing was a good fit. And then finally got into doing entrepreneurial work and have been doing that ever since. And that I started that journey in 2008. And so it's been some years now and I haven't looked back. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, the different businesses that you have been a part of. How did you get into them and how has that journey been until your Plan A Technologies business?
Yeah, so for me, I was really interested in creating something. I was always the kind of, person and kid who liked writing stories and making things and building stuff. So the real attraction for me was the technology space because it felt very much like I could create and build something from scratch. The problem was I wasn't a computer science engineer. I wasn't a coder. I didn't know how to do this kind of thing. And so I partnered with a wonderful friend of mine and, then some additional friends of mine. And we all decided back in 2008, right after Apple opened up the App Store, that we would create a technology company that would allow one to build mobile applications for both the brand new iPhone that had just come out and BlackBerry devices. There were no Android devices at the time. And at first, nobody had any idea what to make of this. I remember I was doing a big presentation to the head of marketing at one of the largest hotel chains in the world. And I was like, well, here we can create this mobile app for you. And he was like, I've never heard of a mobile app. No one's ever seen an iPhone. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Apps are not a thing. Like, you get out of my office. And I was like, no, just wait. This is going to be big. I know it. But fortunately, we were on the right side of things because then obviously all the momentum started to go through. And we were really one of the only companies that was doing that sort of thing at the time. So we ended up really scaling that company up very large. We were selling a lot of different applications to businesses all over the place. And then we ended up selling that company in 2011. And then the second business that we did was kind of a cool combination between gamification and offer management and turning all sorts of marketing materials and educational materials into games. That company was called OfferCraft and grew that company, had a lot of fun doing that as well. And sold that one in 2018. And so had to stay on for a little bit to help with the transition. And then thought, well, instead of focusing on just one business and one product, I really love creating all sorts of cool new things. And so let's put together a company that just builds new tech for other companies. And so we created Plan A Technologies. And Plan A does just that. We build all sorts of really, really interesting new technologies for startups and for gigantic companies and everything in between. Sometimes we are fixing existing problems, fixing existing products and problems. Other times we are just building something right from scratch, and companies will come to us and say, hey, we just raised $500,000 or $1 million or whatever it is. We want to put a portion of that toward building our cool new proof of concept or our minimum viable product, and we'd love for you guys to help us. So it's a lot of fun. We get to create all sorts of different neat things.
Awesome. So, I was curious, you're in Las Vegas, right? So how many times do you get on the strip?
I used to, before COVID, I used to go all the time. Now, not so much, not quite as often, unfortunately. But, I'm very, very grateful to the city of Las Vegas. When I was living in San Francisco, I really loved it there. Great city as well. But there are all these gigantic multi-billion-dollar massive companies. It was really, really difficult to get meetings with a lot of the people that I wanted to get meetings with. Whereas Las Vegas is a very open city in that people are really open to taking meetings with brand new companies, and the companies here are enthusiastic about building the ecosystem in a big way. And so I would not be where I am today without Las Vegas. The companies here, the gaming companies here are really, really innovative. If you think about it, your average casino actually has many, many different businesses under one roof, because not only do they have the casino business, they have often hotels, they have retail, they have an online arm of what they do. They have, all sorts of different things that can range from bowling alleys to movie theaters to security teams to everything under the sun. So there's a lot going on. It's sort of a really fun thing for a technology entrepreneur, because you get to come up with solutions to all sorts of different stuff like that. So it's a great testing ground for a lot of the different things that we've done. And then we can kind of bring it out into many, many other kinds of businesses that go well beyond gaming.
And, I'm also curious, why Plan A Technologies?
So yes, well, especially because of the name of the podcast, of course. So the thinking there was that, hey, instead of having to go with your plan B, where your first thing doesn't work, just go with plan A. Then you don't even have to worry about your plan B. We'll take care of it correctly right from the beginning.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, you talk about digital transformation there. You talk about working with different companies, and it looks like you worked with quite a few very well-known companies. Yep. So tell us a little bit about, how you came about it, and then how you've grown it over time.
Well, for us, the kernel of everything for us really starts with the fact that we are a lot of people who get super, super freaking excited about building stuff. We brainstorm with prospects, with our customers all the time. And a big part of the way that we grow is through showing and not just telling. We don't start meetings off and say, hey, so we're going to talk about ourselves for 2 hours. We start a meeting off and we say, all right, what are you trying to do? What would you like to do? Let's get going. Let's make this thing happen. What do you want to build? Where are the pain points? How can we help? And we talk to them about how we could help. We brainstorm with them. We often start small and then get bigger. And I think our enthusiasm and our passion for technology and passion for what we're doing really comes across to them, and doing a very, very good job of having outstanding customer service. We're available 24/7. We never make people fill out online requests to get in touch with us. They can just pick up the phone and give us a call anytime. And I think our partners really appreciate that. So we do a lot of work where, as you mentioned, we're helping them through major digital transformations. We're helping with really complicated modernization efforts. Very often, a lot of companies today have quite a bit of legacy software where no one either wants to or has the authority to necessarily upgrade everything. So they keep putting on more duct tape and keep trying to make it last a little longer. And eventually those systems begin to crack, and sometimes collapse. And so we come in and help with a lot of those kinds of problems as they occur. We do a lot of work helping companies go into the cloud, do a lot of work helping companies with going and making their technology more mobile friendly or more employee friendly or more secure post being hacked or something like that. And so, we come into a really broad range of situations, but, really, I think the key to our success has been, again, that passion for what we do. And also I think one of the things that differentiates us a little bit is that we started out as product company guys and gals who were building our own product right from scratch, making everything happen that way. So we have seen companies through beginning, through growth, through sale to integration, and we really know that whole life cycle well. And so that's very, very helpful for a lot of our partners when they talk to us. And of course, we have really, really deep industry expertise as well. And so, one of the things that we hear a lot from our clients is that they are relieved that they don't have to explain everything to us right from the beginning. When they're talking to us and using all sorts of acronyms, we know what those acronyms mean. We have submitted things to the regulators that they deal with, and, we can really hit the ground running quickly.
And you have a pretty diverse and dispersed team, right? They're all over the world.
We do. We've got a little mini United Nations happening at Plan A. Lots and lots of languages, lots and lots of different cultures. Actually, just this morning, I had the chance to give a presentation internally to our team about how to work best with American clients, because there are very, very different cultural norms that everybody comes from. And so, a fun example is that in certain cultures, it's considered very impolite to ask questions. If somebody were to do that, it is seen as you're questioning the authority of the client in some way or of the superior in some way. But in the United States, most companies, at least, actually want you to ask all the questions that you possibly can. They don't want you to take your best guess. They want you to get everything absolutely crystal clear ahead of time. So those are the kinds of things that are fun to deal with. And I just love it because we get a chance to, I get a chance to talk to, in a given day, people from Brazil and Argentina and Nigeria and Moldova and Ukraine, all over the place. It's really, really fun, and so it keeps things interesting. And it's also great from a development perspective, because by having a multidisciplinary team of people who are all over the place, we're really able to bring in a lot of different perspectives on the best way to build a certain technology.
And how about, in terms of your clientele, are they all over the world too?
Most of our clients are in North America and Western Europe and Australia, but we do have a smattering of other clients in other areas as well.
And how does the whole business development process work for you? How do your clients find you, or how you find them?
Actually, by far the biggest source for us is word of mouth and people hearing about the good work that we've done for another organization. Or sometimes, someone will leave at one of our clients and go to another company, and one of the first things they usually do is say, "Hey, I got a great partner that we can bring in." And so that's been honestly the biggest source of growth for us. We also were lucky enough, because of the past companies, we had lots of relationships with many other organizations that we have built technologies for in the past. So once they found out that we had launched Plan A technologies, it allowed them to come to us with all sorts of different challenges. So that's been great. But I think the sales part is always one of the hardest parts for a young business, because there's no giant reputation to lean on. In this particular space, there are all of these giant, well-established companies, EPAM, Accenture, Atos, lots and lots of different companies that have tens of thousands of people and have been around for a really, really long time. And so, then there's a little company that no one's ever heard of before. It makes it harder to establish yourself and explain who you are. But we've been doing a really nice job of that. And, we are very excited about what the future holds, because we have been growing extremely fast, hiring usually a person every day, and so that's been pretty fun.
Awesome. And looks like from a pricing standpoint too, you've been very flexible. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, I as a just general rule in all of the businesses that I've created, I try to never have price be the obstacle. So, obviously we have to charge a reasonable price for what we do. We have to make sure that we are not running out of money and everything is profitable, but we can be really flexible on the different models. So some organizations we talk to say, well, you know what, we want to just pay by the hour. Okay, no problem. Others say, no, we don't want that kind of uncertainty. We want to make sure that we have a fixed monthly retainer. We want to do that. Okay, no problem. Others say, no, we're just going to pay you up front. This is what we want. That's what we're going to get, or 50% up front and 50% at the end. So, others will say, hey, can we come up with other creative ways of paying you? And so, we try to be really, really flexible with all of those things so that, our partners really feel like we are a true partner. Our clients often call us their partner and not their vendor, which is something that we really cherish. We're very frequently invited to, speak to their board of directors or, help them with all sorts of interesting challenges that go beyond just what we've normally been asked to do. One of the things that I really love is we get calls literally every single day where our clients will be like, hey, so I'm thinking about buying this technology. Have you ever heard of it? Are they reliable? Is it good? Is it bad? Or, hey, you know what? I'm interviewing these two guys for this new CTO role. Can you just take a look at their resumes? Maybe like interview them even and let us know who you like better. Or, hey, you know what, we just got hacked and, these people are asking us for the following. Is that crazy? Should we agree to that? Should we not agree to that? So they ask us all sorts of different questions about technology issues. And that relationship building, I think, has really gone a long way towards allowing us to get to where we are today.
You also have this membership program for companies to work with you, right? So I'm curious, what's that about?
Yeah, so some organizations will say to us, look, we want to keep working with you. We love you guys and we have all sorts of different things that we want to do. We're not 100% sure of all the different ways we will need to use you right now, but we know we want to use you in a lot of ways. So we do have a membership program where some of our clients choose to pay us kind of an upfront fee. And in exchange, we just deduct hours from that fee and then give them access, again, to call us anytime, ask us any questions they want, have us help them evaluate things. We had another client come to us recently where they were trying to consider a couple different technologies for, this major initiative that would have cost them tens of millions of dollars. And so they were a member of ours and they said, hey, you know what, can we just use some hours toward having you guys literally just do an analysis for us and tell us what you think that we should do. Other groups will be doing an acquisition of another company and they'll say, hey, can you help us with the due diligence? Just review the code. Tell us if you think this stuff is actually good or not good. And so that's a frequent one that we get a chance to do quite a bit.
Awesome. All right. So Aron, that's a very curious company. Lots of good stuff that you're doing there. Lots of things that you're doing very differently. For the listeners, those who want to find out more or reach out to you, what's the best way they can find out more and reach you?
Just planatechnologies.com is our website. Again, planatechnologies.com. We have all of the contact information right up there. And of course, you can always reach me on LinkedIn as well, if you want to reach out or reach our company that way. We have a lot of great information about us, and you can fill out a little form on the site and reach out to us there. It's you'll hear back right away. We generally very often will have some pretty senior engineers on the first call where we'll kind of give you a sense of, is this a big project? Is it a little project? Is it a hard project? Is it an easy project? If you're not sure, or if you're a more sophisticated organization that has a lot going on, we can do a full architectural scoping a document for you where we really analyze all of the different areas where we could help or the specific problem where we can help, and give you, a nice roadmap to implement all of the things that you'd like to implement. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. And again, we do a lot of work with both startups and large companies and take on new clients every week.
Awesome. Well, Aron, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your story and all the wonderful services that you perform. I'm sure the listeners are going to check out your website. And among the gazillion technology companies out there, this is one that's very unique as well. So thank you for bringing it to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.